Today was a speaking and listening focus. We were looking to give the teachers some strategies that they could go through and then model with their students, structured discussion, different sentence starters and prompts, just to encourage speaking and listening. We're going to start with our do now, and in just a moment I'm going to be putting up 4 images on the screen. And what I'm going to ask you to do is look at the images and for about 30 seconds try and negotiate meaning with yourself. The visual image identification task is just simply a platform to start the conversation. Do not tell the person the actual name. Have a conversation maybe where you recognize this person from in the context of what you're seeing in the picture. Use some of those inferencing skills to try and figure out some of the people that you don't know.
We really wanted an activity that they could turn around and do in their classes. It may not be the same images, but we really wanted to model something that they could actually use.
The AEIOU follows just simple sentence starters or frames to get you thinking about what you read. A stands for adjective, E, emotion, I'm forgetting, O is your O, and U is the I is interest. It's a way to have readers reflect on what they've read, and then it serves as a springboard. The next step in our activity was discussion in pairs.
You're going to turn to your elbow partner and just share out 2 points of your AEIOU through the skill of paraphrasing in that conversation. So that could sound like, so you're saying that. In other words, you think that. What I hear you saying is. And for students, that's tough in the beginning because they're not used to some of these structured discussions. But as they get to do it more and more, and we scaffold their skills through paraphrasing, and then the next skill, they really get an idea of how that conversation should sound.
Here you see 4 boys carrying on a book talk in which they draw a non-fiction text so as to grow theories about pilgrims and the Cavaliers.
I think it is about the money because the pilgrims, like, they low class, and the Cavaliers, like, they higher class than the pilgrims, and if you need money to get fancy clothes, just like nowadays, like we need money to get fancy clothes, shoes, and stuff that we want, and that's what they had to do back then to get the people to make their clothes. So I'm disagreeing with you a little bit.
Yeah. Lucy Calkins starts that video out, and she's one of the authors of the Common Core. She's a contributor. So we really wanted to incorporate the ideas of the Common Core with their everyday curriculum and how they could kind of structure these conversations. I thought the conversation after was great because they really saw these kids, and 2 of them were ELL learners. They really saw them having these structured conversations, and they could tell that they had been scaffolded for these kids, and they could tell that they need practice, but it is possible. To have a 6-minute conversation it showed their stamina.
You could definitely tell that the students had practiced the skill over and over again. And that follows our gradual release model. Starting out with I do, the teacher is showing the example. Then the we do, the guided practice. And this was the you do. This was the students doing it independently. And as Meredith had referenced, the stamina to be able to continue that conversation for 6 minutes. That's an ultimate goal, but it will take time and it will take practice to get there.
Don't give up. That's the point of the video, is that this was a part of the classroom because the group that does this doesn't do this in little lab sites. They go into actual classrooms in New York City and work with the teachers to get this to happen. And they couldn't have faked that in 1 session. That had to be built across time. So that's what I'm saying. Don't give up. If your first attempts at their conversations are kind of falling on their face, just keep propping them up and it will get better. They will get stronger.
I think we also wanted to stress that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. This isn't a lesson in conversation. It's conversation through the curriculum that you are already teaching.
I would like the teachers to just really understand the importance of speaking and listening in their classroom, whether it be an ELA classroom, a science classroom, a social studies classroom, or a math classroom.
We just wanted the teachers to leave with some takeaways or some really concrete things and handouts of how do I do this? How do I make this happen in my class? And I think it went well. We had really good conversation, and they're still here, so that's a good thing.